Hey, it's Mr. T from Rockbridge. I wanted to give you a chance to follow along with this video learning about how to combine random variables and properties. So we're going to start out with the story Pete's Jeep Tours, and we're going to take a second to confirm these two numbers right here, the mean and standard deviation. And you can do this with your graphing calculator. So I'd like you guys to take a second to grab your graphing calculator, punch in the number of passengers into list 1 and punch in the probability into list 2. And then when you do one vars stats, just use frequency list as list 2 when you punch those in. So take a second, pause the video right now, and find out, can you in fact get this mean and this standard deviation out of your graphing calculator? Go ahead and pause the video now and give that a shot. Okay, hopefully you tried it out. I'm going to show my calculator here just to make sure you got it. Here is list 1, list 2, and then in stat, calculate one var stats. Make sure you say right here, list 2, second 2 is your frequency list, and calculate. And this is kind of nice because it shows that there is no sample standard deviation. There's only the population standard deviation, and that's going to happen whenever you use probability distributions in your calculator. So moving on, going back to this, we talk about what if we charge $150 per passenger. And so going back at the table, obviously 2 passengers times 150 gives us $300. And then for the rest of this, so go ahead and pause the video and finish filling that out. So hopefully you arrived at the probability distribution pretty quickly, and if you use the same process as above using your graphing calculator, you can get that mean and standard deviation. As a little bit of a shortcut for this, we can go back and use the graphing calculator to help us as well. So if I go to stat edit, I can go over to list 3, and at the top I can say 150 times list 1. And then that'll get it quickly. But obviously you can just do that really quick. But even more of a shortcut, if we go back and look at this, the expected value right here, if we compare to before, we realize that this 150 is just multiplied. And so we should say that the expected value is just going to be whatever you're multiplying by. And so we can write that down generally by saying that EC is equal to just cost times, and up here we said number of passengers was X, and so EX, and for the standard deviation, the same thing. That we saw the standard deviation of cost is just this cost times the standard deviation of X. So real easy connection here that you don't have to redo all your work. So moving on. Now we're talking about if it has cost of $100 to buy all this, then what's going to happen? We know that if you talk about profit, you need to subtract away cost from your collected amounts. So take a second to pause the video and see if you get the same thing that I get. So if you're at this point, you probably realize that you really didn't need to do much with your graphing calculator. As a reminder, when you shift and scale things, that certain behaviors take place. So in this case, we see that the mean is just $100 less because we were subtracting 100 from everything, but because we were shifting, the standard deviation did not change. So nice connection there. All right, here we have just a confirmation of what we saw on the front page, and it says, let's generalize what we found. So the expected value of V is just the expected value of C minus 100. And for standard deviation, we can just say the standard deviation of V equals the standard deviation of C. No changes. All right. So then we're going to look at part 2 of this video. We have the idea that Pete's sister is going to try to make this happen as well. So I'm out of time on this first video. I'll let you go ahead and start filling out the mean and expected value and standard deviation for Pete's sister, and then check out video 2 because